Sky Sports and Visa have sent me along to play a game with two of the brightest talents in football, Aoife Mannion and Nikita Parris, to talk all things football and the UEFA Women's Euros 2022. Nikita, Aoife, thanks for being here. We're going to play a little game today. Don't get too competitive, I know you.
Well, that's pretty hard to do.
You can see on the table we've got a football pitch. On each there's a reference that represents how much you think it is true or false with the questions I'm going to ask you. A goal is something you believe in, or an own goal is a no. Last-minute winners are better than last-minute goal line clearances. The attacker's gone with the goal. Aoife, where are you?
I'm a defender, so a goal line clearance is really special, but that last-minute winner, you just can't...
You can't beat that
momentum,
no.
Either of you scored a last-minute winner?
I have.
What was the goal?
Everton played Liverpool, it was a derby.
Merseyside derby.
It was a Merseyside derby and I scored the winner.
Attacking is more fun than defending. 100% Keith. Oh, wow. Really, Aoife?
I think I'm a little bit salty as a player, so for me, defending, I get the same buzz.
Yeah, but what about just defending from the front, allowing your forward, your midfield to press, and you just sitting back monitoring?
Well, exactly, someone has to do it, so that's me in the back line, so I disagree.
You never do defending from the front.
Are you mad?
You're joking. All right.
You're getting me and you mixed up.
Winning one international tournament is better than winning 5 league titles. Ooh, we've gone opposites.
It's a hard thing to do because you're not training every single day with them same people. There's so many complexities, ups and downs that happen within that space of time, and it's a very short space of time. Small chance of, everything going right in them moments. Everyone's saying to you, is it coming home? And you're like, we've got a long way to go to beat you before we even think of that.
The only thing my mind went to is, with 5 domestic titles, the level of dominance that must come.
That is true.
With that, week in, week out.
What is going to get us from a semi-final to a final this time, though?
I think we've always fell down in the major moments. There's got to be ruthless mindset. Over the last 5 years as an England team, we've really grew from, when you guys were in Canada, right the way through to 2019 till now. We've had the emotional part. Now it's on the pitch, just delivering that final moment. And within the boxes is where the key moments become.
Football is more than just a game.
I really agree with the sentiment. I think that for us, it's like a freedom of expression. That said, sometimes we have to remember that football is literally just a game and that there's a life outside of that. And so I just wanted to nudge it back slightly to sort of reference the fact that we're all footballers, but I think we're also humans.
I totally agree with that. But I do think football is such a global sport and it has the ability to touch many people in different communities. We have a platform in which we can give a voice to the voiceless.
I've got goosebumps there. We'll play. If you can't find a team, should you start one?
Yeah, I think you should. I actually did that process when I was a young girl. I think I was 10, 11, and I was coming to a stage where boys could no longer play with girls. And when I was in Kingsley United, I said to them, well, why don't you create a girls' team? So I just got my cousins, my friends from the local area, and we created a team. And my uncle was the manager, and the guy from the local youth centre was actually our bus driver.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I bet you bossed it as well.
Yeah, my sister scored all the own goals and I scored all the others.
If I wasn't allowed in the boys' team, I would have definitely started one.
Women's teams should play in the same stadium as the men's on a regular basis. Okay.
Ooh.
So, can I start on this one?
Yeah, please start.
A year ago, I would have agreed with you. This season, I have seen one team in particular play in the men's stadium, and it was really empty. And so I think that the atmosphere actually didn't create a great package. That said, when we played one game in the men's stadium at Old Trafford, it was really good.
It's not a great atmosphere when you do have empty stadiums, but we have to start somewhere. Ultimately, people want to experience the whole package of the football environment, and we played at the Emirates. It was unbelievable. Yeah, it was brilliant.
I think you can get the crowds there, like you said, but it has to, we've seen the Champions League. Yeah. It can be done, and maybe this is the start of where it needs to go. Does having sponsorship and investment have a good impact on the game?
Yeah, I think I would bump that right up there. It creates a demand, it creates interest.
Sustainability as well.
That's what has been proven so successful for the men's game.
Create a buzz, create an atmosphere, and not just on the pitch, off the pitch, and bring people through them turnstiles, which you need.
Visa are a massive sponsor of the women's game.
Visa are not just sponsoring the Women's World Cup, but the Champions League and the up-and-coming Euros.
You've been on the second half programme. Tell us a little bit more about that and what Visa have done.
The second half is a programme that upskills us and delivers a series of workshops, mentorship schemes, internship opportunities, and is really aimed at helping us see ourselves outside of just being a footballer.
You probably only know what you know.
Yeah.
And until your eyes are opened up to other opportunities, we want to see people as much more as humans, as you said first.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't think retirement would be so daunting for so many players if there was an actual pathway for them to feel comfortable. Instead of usually when you go ask for support from your club, it's usually, are you going to be a coach, you're going to be a manager? But what if you don't want to do anything like that?
That's why I was so passionate about it, because I'd say it saved me a little bit. You know, I've seen bad experiences from athletes that have transitioned, not just in football. For me, I never ever wanted anyone to ever feel like that. If anything happens, we're there to help and support.
Yeah.
And you know, it's part of my job if it doesn't go well. There's not enough support out there for retiring athletes. Right, back to the quiz. Winning the WSL is harder than winning the Women's Champions League. Own goal.
Yeah, it's a straight no for me. The Women's Champions League compared to a domestic league trophy is another level. You can build a winning team around sustaining a certain league position and trying to push forward, but when you go into the Champions League, it's a whole new ball game. You're playing against some of the best players in Europe, but some of the best players in the world that, you know, specifically move to clubs to achieve that dream of winning the Champions League, and it's not an easy feat.
In the WSL, obviously we play similar teams every year, and so the way that we prepare for those games is quite predictable.
Yeah.
In Europe, that's all flipped on its head. Different countries have different styles, and I think it's much harder to anticipate like what the dance of the match is going to look like.
Representing your country is the biggest honour in football. Yeah. Ooh, Aoife.
I'm not... I wish I had a look at these before. Such good questions, and they deserve me to have a little think about them. But
This is a quiz, though. Yeah. I can't give you a heads up.
it is the biggest and
What
best
was
honour.
the issue that you thought maybe not then? Held you
People
back?
connect to their national team in different ways.
Yeah.
If you are right in the thick of it, every camp, you might feel really, really valued. Also, if it's your first time getting into the team, that might be amazing.
When I think about the top 3-4 moments of my career, my debut against Serbia is right up there, but also winning the Champions League is also up there.
Every player should experience playing abroad. I needed a tan, so I wanted to go.
Before I moved to France, I would have said no, but moving abroad, wow, one of the hardest things I ever did in life. The first 8 to 10 months, I don't think I was myself, because I just couldn't get to grips with the culture, the language, the change of team, change of environment. I had to really find myself.
I've not been, so I'm on that sort of side of the spectrum that I don't know what I'm missing until I actually go and do it.
You're completely out your comfort zone, aren't you? And it's like so daunting. I went to America, so it was the same speaking language.
I remember sitting in a meeting and the coach, all he ever spoke was in French, and I remember him just doing the tactics in French, and I understood everything. I walked out of that meeting like glowing like a light, because I was just so happy that I could understand. And he was like, Nikita, are you okay? And I was like, Coach, I understood everything, you don't need to explain. A crazy experience, but one in which I'll never ever take back.
Injuries, hardship teach players more than winning does. That is a really, really good question.
I have a really dramatic experience of injuries.
Yeah.
Because you, unfortunately, are out at the moment.
I've had 2 ACL injuries, almost back to back.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really extended portion of time where you are on your own. Up until then, was being part of a team, and then quite an abrupt injury is like a stop to that. It's like there's not a handbook for it. Mm-hmm. You think you're on the right path to sort of getting back, and then another day you feel really far away. And it's a swing of emotion that I wasn't exposed to as a player. I feel so much more empathetic and compassionate towards other people. Before I got injured myself, someone would have an ACL injury on the team and I might even forget to ask them how they are. Whereas now I feel a lot softer. I feel like I get it more. Gosh, I'm a much more well-rounded person for having it.
You're not defined by football.
Exactly.
The Euros will have the biggest impact we've ever seen to women's football in Europe. Well, that was easy. Ooh.
The last event that had a massive impact in England was probably the Olympics. 2012. I just see that as being so much more impactful. You know, where we are as a nation and having an interest in watching women's football is so far beyond that. You know, I get into a taxi and the driver tells me about how Miedemar signed a new contract. I think, 5 years ago we would never have had that, so there's an appetite.
The momentum of a World Cup in 2015, a World Cup in 2019, the Women's Champions League and how the crowds, everything has just pushed in the right direction, snowball, and I think the women's game is only going to get better.
It's on the best stage, it's got the right marketing, it's going to be on the television. I just see it as really being another catalyst.
Final question. England will win the Euros this summer. Come on, it's coming home.
All the good vibes to you and the team, Keats. I think you've got it on lockdown. I think you're going to do it. I think you're going to bring it home. I'm going to be a fan, so I can say this. I can say it's coming home.
You're going to have everyone backing you.
Yeah, I just have to zero in on what you, as an individual, the best you can get out of yourself.
Do you feel part of creating the next legacy then?
Yeah, I will always say I feel like we're standing on the shoulders of giants. There was a time when there was just a man and a dog, 50 people in the crowd playing on cow patches, but you still believe that you could push the women's game forward, and you did, and we're living and reaping the benefits now, and hopefully we can do that for the next generation.
Well, that was the final question, and you were both amazing. Thank you so much, both of you. Thank you, Aoife. Thank you, Nikita, for your time.
Thank you, Kaz.
Unbelievable.